the moderator, excuse me, that always gets me, that end. The moderator for this evening is Clare Aguilar.
Thank you, Winston. Well, what a film. Allow me to introduce the filmmakers for this film, Food Delivery. First of all, director, Baby Ruth Villarama. And joining her is Chuck Gutierrez, producer and editor. Hi guys. I got this. Well, congratulations. Oh my goodness, what a film. I'm Filipino American, so I was born in the States, so I'm ignorant of the issue here, but on the other hand, I know that this is such an important film for Filipino sovereignty, because this has been an issue for the Philippines for a very long time, and this is one that is continuing today. Tell us how you came to this story, how it started.
Because the issue has been going on since the late 1990s, and when things got escalated in 2023, there was a news of two Chinese militia vessels chasing fisherman Arnel Satam, the one that we saw in the film. It just choked us as storytellers, and it came to a point that you stop being a spectator and you think and reflect if there is something you can actually do to de-escalate the situation, because Filipinos are peace-loving people. Our generation never really experienced war, and right there and then we knew that if nothing concrete is done, then we will wake up one day, those islands will no longer belong to us. And we must understand that the Philippines is actually a gateway to the Pacific. That's why protecting the Philippines means the region will be protected. 40% of maritime trade passes through the West Philippine Sea and South China Sea. So that would protect food security of, Hawaii and some of the islands going to America. So that's why it's becoming more than just a Filipino story. It's now a regional and a global geopolitical story. But at the heart of it, we have to also understand how can we put a human face in such an abstract geopolitical flashpoint. So we thought of maybe our camera can focus on what matters most, which is the humanity and the ordinary lives of these people depending on these seas for hundreds of years.
It's just the tip of the iceberg in a way, because it really, as you say, it opens a gateway into not only the geopolitical political situation, but also for the survival and the substance of not only Filipinos, but the whole world.
The whole world.
You have kind of two stories here, which I think is interesting. It's the military story of the missions, and then of the people, the fishermen, and their struggles. How did you decide to craft these? And I'm kind of talking film language, because it's an interesting contrast. The kind of this rescue mission, and then how it affects the people.
Yeah, when we were discussing about the central theme of the film, initially we were just really focusing on the fisher folk, the community, on how important food security is, because the West Philippine Sea is not just providing for the entire Philippines, but we are exporting tuna to Japan, Australia, and most of the seafoods that we enjoy in some of the cities around, that comes from that area. And food has become a central theme in the story. And then when we finished the timeline of the story of the fisher folk, we discovered the importance of these soldiers guarding the islands, because the political play now is once you vacate these islands, then China will automatically occupy these islands. So there are 9 features that soldiers have to be stationed. And our government, or not our government, but the armed forces of the Philippines, the naval force, need to deliver food to these soldiers because it's not a sustainable island. It's actually territorial, but rich with minerals and natural resources beneath it. So when we were doing the storyline, then we decided I think it's also important for us to appreciate what are these islands, because even me as a filmmaker, I didn't even know where Scarborough is located, where Lawak, Pata, like how important are these islands? And apparently these are islands very rich in natural resources, and these are the lands that are being taken away from us. So, and that's already a militarized zone. No civilians can access that island. So we decided I think it's important that we include them in the story.
Their missions are sort of undercover missions because they're very dangerous, right?
They're very dangerous, yeah. So it was a drive mission for us. We're not allowed to sort of demand too much. So our task is to make sure that we capture it as cinematically as possible, as truthful as possible, because China ships, they're shadowing the Filipino ships, the naval ships, going around these islands delivering food.
Is that why their missions are kind of secret and they don't know how long they're deployed, or it's undercover, yeah, and they're drones and they're being surveyed all the time?
Yeah.
All the time.
All the time, yeah. Even us, yeah.
As filmmakers, it seems very dangerous. I mean, not only the sea, which seems really perilous, but also how are you able to access, especially some of the footage that looks like secret footage of the Chinese ships and so on? How were you able to do that?
Some of them were shot by us, by our team, using our phones, Ray-Ban, thanks, and some of them were provided by the Coast Guard, yes. Philippine Coast Guard, towards the post-production. So it's a mixture of phone shots, Coast Guard shots, and some of the reporters, the two boats, two ships, and then Arnel Sakam's chase, that was shot by reporter Rafi Tima in 2023, because he was joining like a environmental investigation. So that was an accidental footage. Yeah, so we decided, okay, I think it has to be a collective effort, because the story of the West Philippine Sea does not rely alone on the fisherfolk, but also the roles of these other elements, and the media and those trying their best to capture the transparency of what's going on in the area.
Before we talk a little bit about why this film, why China is so afraid of this film, I mean, let's talk about what kind of support. Let me just ask: is this story kind of known in the Philippines about the West Philippine Sea and the struggle? Is it known, or is it more kind of covert?
Just news, It's just
it's just
headline.
like a flashpoint, like headlines, a piece in between, like a segment in the news, and then if there is a big, ramming or incident, then it becomes a headline one day, and then it changes to another thing. So it's just like that. And when the fisher folks are really affected by it, and when we're talking about 300,000 fisher folk affected by it, and about, at least in one area, 30,000 boats are affected by the situation, because they couldn't enter anymore the economic zone of the Philippines. We have to dig deeper, and no one is really looking at the human side of the issue, like who are really affected by it, and the strength of the Filipinos, like despite of the challenges that they're facing, they're ready to fight it. They're still voyaging out there and doing their expedition to make sure that they're able to catch fish for their families and for us.
And the 4 fishermen who disappeared and were not found, But we're just trying to unpack that a little bit, in terms of, is that because of the dangerous situation, or is there some kind of subterfuge involved with China, or is it, what were you able to find out?
Yeah, it's really a big mystery to us because while we were filming Arnel Satam and the crew of FB Moises, that happened in the middle of it, and we had no choice but to follow the sense of what's going on. And then when Arnel Satam wanted to investigate, and then there was suddenly a rescue mission that they want to organize, then we tried our best to follow through, but there was no trace. Imagine 4 small boats went missing and no trace, nothing, just their watches left in their, that floating device that was left in the middle of the sea. And normally a bamboo, because these boats are made of bamboos, bamboos have a natural way of going back to shore after several days, but no bamboo came back. So it's a mystery, and no one is speaking about it. We went to the senators, they tried communicating to China, there was silence. Vietnam said no fishermen, because normally Vietnam would report if they discovered the fishermen going their way. And same with us, if a Taiwanese fisherman got lost in our sea, then we report that. But for these 4 missing fishermen folk, no news. They disappeared. So that's really heartbreaking for the family. And until now, there's no news. So, no news, no official statement from the embassy. It's just silence.
And China continues to harass and to...
It's every day.
Every day, yeah. How much support is there from other countries or even from the U.S. on this issue?
It's good that you asked that because I was just reading the news last night, and 2 Australian military fleets have just arrived in the West Philippine Sea, and the U.S. force have now occupied some of the bases again that they left in 1992. So now they've just recently signed an agreement to do monitoring, collective monitoring, that's the
Exercises.
and military exercises. Japan has joined the military exercises, France, UK, and even India has joined. So now it's slowly becoming like a collective patrolling in the area. But China is using this as a motion of they want to escalate it into a war. And they said, this is a violation of the rule because in their mind, that area belongs to them, in their mind.
I think it's interesting that you focus on food, especially in the title, because it's not about territory anymore. It's really about survival and especially the ecosystem. And it's so great, the microscopic of going from the food and the little fishes. Oh, by the way, that footage of the net is just astounding.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know how you got that. just the fishing in general. Now, what steps has China have they made any gestures, or you had an issue with one of the showings of this film, right?
Yeah, it's supposed
All
to
screenings of us have this issue also.
almost all screenings, except here in the US. Yeah, thank you. This film was supposed to premiere back home last March 14, 2025. We'll never forget that day. We've invited everyone, ambassadors of this country, and Chief of Armed Forces of the Philippines, and everyone. And 2 days before the supposed premiere, the head of the festival went to the post-production house, and they just announced to us that this film has to be removed from the lineup. Or else the entire festival will be cancelled, affecting all the other programmings. And we can't do that to other filmmakers. And of course, we were trying to figure out how to best handle it. We even suggested, why don't we put a disclaimer that all opinions that you'll see in the film does not reflect the opinion of the festival, something like that. We were just the filmmakers. But that did not stand any ground, and they told us that one of the major sponsors requested that this film be removed, or else, they're backing out from their sponsorship. So we couldn't do anything about it.
I'll tell you later. Yes, outside. You cannot allowed to say it. Yeah. It's somebody outside.
Yeah, it's on the news. If you just search, if you Google it, yeah, our friends in the media
Google it.
have
Okay.
announced it. But yeah, we were asked. Well, so there was some legal battle in between because, of course, the festival tried to block this film. What do you call that? Claiming that majority of the rights belong to them. I don't know.
Yes.
To the festival, because apparently the festival gave a grant for us to be able to finish the film, funded by that major sponsor. And in exchange, certain rights belong to them, which is majority of the rights. And we couldn't get out from that. But then, of course, thank you to our lawyers, they were able to figure out that, in the event that the festival is unable to release the film, then it was a breach of agreement, something like that. Right? So there was some legal hiccups, and then
And it happened,
yeah, and then New Zealand invited a film, Doc Edge, one of the biggest documentary film festival in Asia Pacific, invited a film. It went into competition. Thankfully, it won.
It won Best Picture.
Best
There.
Picture there. And then
And yet,
however, on our second screening,
it happened
it
again.
happened again. So the festival sat us down and informed us that members of the Chinese embassy got in touch with the parliament, not the festival only, but like parliament, I don't know, like the Ministry of Foreign Affairs probably, requesting or demanding that this film be removed from the lineup as soon as possible, or else the bilateral relationship between New Zealand and China is something like that. And the festival decided to publish that email. Yeah, you can Google it also.
Google it.
And it's a master class of diplomacy, for Doc Edge to do that. And they stood by the film, and they continue screening the film.
They screened the film.
They screened the film.
Yes.
Oh, good for them.
And then it went to Hawaii. We just came from Hawaii a few days ago, and now we're here. So things are really like spinning. That's why every screening is important to us, because we don't know if some external force will block again the screening of this film.
Back home, it's still hard to have this out in the.
So it has
It's
not
in the
shown in the
cinemas.
Philippines.
Just through block screenings,
I see,
and
okay.
community screenings, but no commercial.
No commercial screenings. Okay, that's why it's important, I think, because of the diaspora of Filipinos, because Filipinos are everywhere in the world, that we really spread the word, and to be able to see this film. And now that it's in contention as the official entry for the Philippines,
Under the documentary.
in the documentary category for the Academy of
It's a Doc Edge, so it's
and
like
it won the award in Doc Edge, so
Yeah.
you're going to have laurels from Doc Edge, and also be able to get this out. It's important to spread the word. As it goes through its run, and when it goes into consideration for the Academy Awards for documentary category, let's try to see this film and support it. I think we've come to the end of our time, but I want to thank you so much, Baby Ruth Villarama, director, and Dr. Clare.
Thank you so much. Your presence means so much. And more than anything, it's really an invitation for the world to know the strength of the Filipino people. And if there's any way that this story can inspire, give you strength, give you courage, then bring this home.
Yes, Hi, my name is Samantha, and I just really want to wholeheartedly thank the both of you and your team for making this movie, because for the last 20 years or more, to my knowledge, this happens in Vietnam as well. And I'm from Vietnam, but the Vietnamese government would never allow this movie to ever be made. So I thank you so much for putting this and letting the world know that this is going on in the Philippines, in other countries like Vietnam as well, because we're neighbors. And the work that you do, you have no idea how much it impacts so many people across the world. Not only that, but it was very dangerous. I feel that danger when I'm watching the movie, but if I was trying to do this in Vietnam, I would probably be killed. So you have no idea how much this means to me and to the rest of the world. So I thank you so much for putting on this amazing documentary.
Thank you so much. Well, the bad news is this does mark the end of the portion, but thank you, Claire, for this. Thank you, Baby Ruth. Thank you, Chuck. The good news is they will be in the lobby. Yes. And if you have other questions and selfie requests, I'm sure they'll be happy to accommodate that. A couple of announcements really quick. This is actually undertaking its qualifying run at the Lemley Glendale. So it's screening there daily multiple times until Thursday, right? So please tell your friends. It's screening there 3 times a day at the Glendale Lemley. Also, you'll notice outside in your gift bag there's a copy of this map that you'll have in your gift bag, along with some other surprise goodies, including a can of tuna. So you're probably wondering what that tuna is from. That tuna directly goes to the fishermen. That is caught by those fishermen, so that is their livelihood.
Comes from there. And I'd like to also acknowledge one of our sound engineers. He's here, Andrea Idioma. If you're featuring the sound, that's her. I don't know if you're here. He's based in LA.
The people have spoken, so we do have time for 3 questions, 3 more questions from the audience. So whoever would like that.
Yes. Hey guys.
Just introduce yourself so we can remember you.
Now, yes. Jessica. Jessica? Yeah.
Jessica?
I can see Jessica.
Hi.
Question. I don't know if other people know this, but with it being the official Oscar contender for the Philippines, how does that work when it's banned in the Philippines?
This is not the official entry for foreign language film. So there's Magellan, but this is the official entry for documentary category. The Philippines is not the one banning it. It's the external forces trying to ban it. If the government, gave it like a rated PG, which is parental guidance, so kids below 10 years old can watch this film as long as there's a guardian. So it's not really banned by the government, but by external forces influencing cinemas, harassing, cinema owners, and 80% of our cinema owners are owned by, Chinoy families. So they're really in this very delicate position, but they are accepting the film as long as it's black screening. So it's the community who's sort of like booking it.
It's a community effort.
Sure.
Hi.
Hi.
Please stand up.
Oh, hi, my name is Marian, and I have a question. Did you guys talk to any people from the United Nations?
No, not yet. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Are you open just in case?
Of course.
Our leaders' conversation was just to make sure that we got the UNCLOS, what they call arbitral ruling right. So they provided us with a 10-page arbitral ruling, which of course we couldn't, post in the film, but we sort of honored its essence in the film.
Oh, okay. And when you were in Hawaii, where did you launch this movie, or where did you have this shown in Hawaii?
It was shown at the Hawaii International Film Festival at the HIF, in a theater called Kahala Consolidated Theater.
In Oahu?
Yes.
Oahu.
Yes.
Okay. I don't want to say this, but I am a knighted lady, so I'm thinking probably I can use that to the knighthood or the organization. And let's see, because one of the Dutch is Filipina, and she's based in Hawaii, so I can talk to her about it.
Yes, please.
The Duchess of Hawaii.
No. She's no. It's a long story, but anyway, I'll talk to her. But she's a Dutch. Her husband is Duke, and they are is Austrian. Duchess. Sorry, but yeah, I'll talk to them and I'll get your information later.
Can you explain what knighted means, ma'am?
Because here in the U.S. they're not. We are not. It's not really known, or we're not really using it. So in Europe, remember when you're knighted by the prince?
Yes.
Yeah. So
In what country are you knighted?
I was knighted here in Vegas, but I was knighted by the prince in Spain. I'm one of the ladies, and I was introduced by what's his title for John? By a baron and a baroness, and it so happened they're the in-laws of my daughter.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have those connections, even if I'm not using it, because I know they're in the U.S. they're not using it. But I if I have those connections all over the world because of that night, of being a lady.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Okay, last question.
Last question?
There's a gentleman who's raising his
Oh, yes, you, sir in uniform.
Yeah, can you introduce yourself? Are you a poster?
It's not really a question. I can't really speak on behalf of my government, but as a private citizen, I want to tell you that thank you. Keep trying to tell the truth. More power to you.
Sorry, thank you for your service. Thank you.
Thank you for your service.
Okay, I'm sure there are more questions for those of you that are shy outside. Two more brief announcements. This evening marks the premiere of the broadcast of the Manila International Film Fest Gala, which is screening exclusively on Chime TV. Thank you, Jessica. I saw you up there. And we'll play through the weekend, right? Or through the week.
And on Golden Streaming.
So yes, on Golden Stream. So if you've yet to see the MIFF Gala, it's there for you on television. Also contained in your gift bags is a copy of the map behind this flyer. You'll notice a QR code. For those of you that are moved to action, there's a code you can scan, and it donates to pre-vetted organizations that go directly to the fishermen in the Philippines. So for those of you inclined. Thank you, and then very Filipino tradition, food is served.
Yes, outside.
We're delivering food to you. Fresh from the Philippines. Thank you, Claire, and thank you, Lisa.